So learning to sell digital products and services online has literally transformed my whole entire life, and I now have made close to 4 million from doing so. I'm not here to give you a sob story, wave my hands and say, whoa, look at me. I just want to tell you my experience with it and kind of how I went about doing it, and hopefully you guys can learn a bit from it, from the lessons I share. Because look, I had a pretty normal life. Like, my life didn't suck. I was a university student, studying property, studying real estate. That's what I would have done had I not got into the online space, into entrepreneurship. And I would have gone on to get a graduate job, and I would have made 30 to 50K a year, perhaps, for the first couple of years. Right now I'm 24. No, I'm not. Right now I'm 25, and that will be my salary. But I literally made double that last month from across both my businesses in profit, purely because I doubled down on learning this one skill, and this one skill literally transformed my whole entire life, and that is high ticket sales. And maybe the ironic thing about this is I'm not here to tell you to copy me, which is funny because a lot of people online will say, hey, I did X. If you just do the same as me, you can get the same results. No, I'm telling you to do something slightly different. And I'm not afraid to say that because I've gone through it for the last 5 years. 3 of those years I made no money. And the way I like to explain it is I put myself into a maze, and I didn't know which way to turn, which way was going to be a dead end, which way would get me closer to that end goal of finishing the maze. But now I would say I finished one maze. Maybe there's more bigger mazes in the future for me, but I finished this one maze, and at the end of a maze, often there's a lookout point, right? And you can look down and you can kind of see the route, and you can see people struggling in that maze. I now can see the route of that maze and the best route to take. So I'm not going to tell you to copy and do exactly as I did. I'm going to tell you what I think is best and how I think you can best utilize the skill sets you can acquire online in order to make more money and obviously have more successful businesses in the long run. Because like the reality of it was, I tried every single online business under the sun. I tried dropshipping, I tried Amazon FBA, I tried starting a property sourcing company, I tried the social media marketing one for at least 3 years, and that's the one that finally started working. And really, when I doubled down on the sales side of things, I actually made it work, and it's still a profitable business to this day. But it still failed for 3 years because I really thought that business was just plug and play. I really thought that, you're just going to buy a course and you're just going to copy, what all these gurus are saying online. Just do exactly as they say. You don't even have to think for yourself. As long as you copy a proven system, a proven path, it will work. And unfortunately, business does not work like that. You cannot just regurgitate a sales script someone has given you and expect to close clients. You can't just copy the same dropshipping store, follow the same ad strategy and, expect it to work. That's just not how life works. As I said, what really changed for me was when I really changed my focus. I really stopped focusing on the outputs of what I wanted to achieve. I stopped focusing on those 10K months. I stopped focusing on landing clients or having a successful store, whatever your kind of passion or kind of route and journey you're on right now is. I changed my focus to what inputs I need to do, I need to achieve in order to get the end outcome I want. The way I look at this, and this might seem like a bit of a stretch of an analogy, but it's the same as like saying you want to go and climb Mount Everest, and you literally just walk out my door right here, put my shoes on, I'll bring a jacket, maybe a hat, and I'll just start walking up the mountain. Obviously got to get to Nepal first, but I'll start walking up the mountain and, touch wood, fingers crossed, I'll get to the top and I'll summit. But it will probably take me a bunch of time, and as time progresses, maybe I'll learn that like, oh shit, it's really cold, I actually need a bigger jacket, or I need oxygen now. So it's going in blind. It's not having any direction or any understanding of the goal you're trying to achieve. Whereas if you really were going to climb Everest, you'd probably map it out. You'd probably train for it. You'd probably make sure you had the right mountaineering skill sets. You probably would make sure you know how to navigate. You'd probably make sure that, you're speaking to people that have already done it, and you'd be learning from them about what they did and how they did it and what they needed and what they achieved. And maybe you'd even get a direct guide or mentor that would help you go up there, like the Sherpas they always talk about. Because that's going to increase your chances of getting to the top, and getting to the top much quicker. Because obviously if you go about it on your own, you're probably going to fail a bunch of times, you're not going to get very far, and it's going to take you a lot of time to learn how to improve things. Obviously, yes, it's a stretch, but many people that try to climb Everest die because they're underprepared, they're not equipped for it, they're not well trained. And like, you could say the same with entrepreneurship. Like, many people would try and start their first online business, and after the first attempt, the first failed month, they throw in the towel, they call it quits. That entrepreneurial dream goes to die because they weren't prepared, they didn't know they were getting into, and they're not prepared to do it again because, their ego's been hit so hard. So what changed was I really started focusing on those inputs of what I needed to be a successful entrepreneur. What kind of person did I need to be in order to run a successful business, in order to make a significant amount of income online? And the number one thing that stood out more than anything was sales. You know, sales is the backbone of every single business in existence throughout the whole of history. Sales is everywhere in our lives. Like, if you really boil it down, like, sales is how we get what we want. Sales is how we persuade people. Sales is how we make people like us, how we make people dislike us, how we can get people to do what we want them to do. And my honest advice to you is just learn it. You need to learn it as soon as possible. And the sooner you do, the better that will be for yourself. And my business has failed for so long because I just neglected it for so long. I went in blind. I had this stupid sales script I got from a program. I didn't know why I was saying what I was saying. And I just thought, you know, let me just walk into this dentistry office in my tight suit from sixth form and try and sell this guy on my Facebook ads. I don't even know how to run Facebook ads, but I've got a sales script, so it should work. Obviously, no, it didn't work. Now I know how to sell, and I can sell people, and I've sold hundreds of people, but sales hasn't just taught me how to sell, it's taught me about how to motivate teams, how to network well, how to hire the right people, how to explain your point better, and how to understand the perspective of others along with the whole entire sales process that goes into business. It isn't just about jumping on a call and selling someone. It's about what kind of process those prospects are going through from finding out you exist until they actually land in your lap as a client. And even then, when you've got them as a client, you still need to sell them on the idea and enjoyment of working with you. Just because a client has paid you the first invoice doesn't mean they're gonna pay you the second, third, fourth, or fifth. You need to make sure they're having a good experience. And which is why I tell you and why I say that sales is absolutely everywhere. And obviously I'm gonna say that sales is everywhere because I need to validate the whole point in this video. But I really do want you to go away and think about it. I want you to go away and think, where is sales? How does it affect my life? How does it affect the conversations I have with people, the relationships I have throughout my life? And it's just every element of human conversation and communication it factors into. And so by learning this skill of sales, my agency was then able to start making good money. And over the years that has snowballed and progressed into larger and larger invoices. The numbers don't matter. And same, like, I've set up other businesses that to this day are growing month by month. And it's all because I learned that one skill of sales. So my true advice to anybody getting into the online business space, anybody trying to make money online, is double down on learning that skill. You need to know how to sell. You need to understand sales processes if you really want to be successful in the long term. And of course, I am incredibly biased to high ticket closing. I'm going and working for other successful online businesses that are already pulling in 6, 7, 8 figures a month. I'm going and working in their sales teams, learning how to sell directly for them, learning how the inside works of those businesses before you then go up set up your own. That's obviously by being a high ticket closer. But I truly think, and I hope you can hear my sincerity when I say that that is the best way you can get your foot into the online space and start understanding how these successful businesses come about and what actually makes them successful. It all comes down to their sales processes and the relationships they have with their clients, which at the end of the day relates back to sales. And of course, my opinion is super biased, but this ability to be able to sell digital products over the internet has transformed my whole life. If I didn't learn how to sell online, I wouldn't have made any money. But now I've made close to, I think, probably past 4 million in sales now for my own businesses. And not only for myself, but I've also helped over 300 other individuals inside my coaching program, Club Closer, do the same. So by watching this, I don't want you just to learn from my mistakes, but I want you to see that, in fact, I've proven that sales is the best route into the online business space, having helped over 300 people, many of which have gone up and set up their own successful businesses afterwards and after learning to sell. And of course, many of you that watch my content are already sales reps. You're already working in sales, so it's simply just leveraging a skill you already have into a different industry to then be able to go off and create that first foundation for your online success. So I truly urge that anybody that is looking to make money online, leave their 9-to-5, or create a life of freedom for themselves, I really recommend they look into high ticket closing and they consider it as a really viable option to start, that first foundation. And I truly mean that. And obviously, if you've just come across this video and you don't know what high ticket sales is, feel free to go and watch some of my other content. There's many videos in which I explain it, but I just wanted to make this video basically just saying that high ticket sales has changed my whole entire life and allowed me to make millions online. And it's done the same for many others that we've directly worked with, many others we haven't. I think it's the best option for anybody that wants to get into the online space and learn a skill that is truly irreplaceable. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If obviously you want to go and learn more about high ticket sales, you can go and check out some of my other content. But other than that, I'd love you to subscribe, like the video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.